55th GST Council meet chaired by Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman in Jaisalmer has come up with several important decisions. A tax rate of 18% will be levied on the reselling of old and used vehicles by businesses. Now, this is an increase from the earlier imposed GST of 12%, but it will not impact individual sellers. It has been further decided to keep gift vouchers offered by several sectors out of the tax purview. Also, GST on gene therapy used to treat cancer has been waived off, and tax on fortified rice kernel has been cut to 5% from 18%. Meanwhile, the decision on reduction of tax rates on insurance has been deferred.
Used EV, an individual selling to another individual, no GST. But if a company has bought EV, or if there is a regular registered used car seller who buys EV, does some propping up in it, adds value to it and then sells it. It was felt by states and it was felt by auto and many others also that the EV market is not so saturated as yet that used cars will come. And category में, therefore used cars category में EV भी है, petrol vehicle भी है, diesel vehicle भी है. On the margin is only this 18% is being put, as would be for any used car. So it is on the margin, not on the entire amount. No GST is payable on the penal charges levied and collected by banks and NBFCs from borrowers for non-compliance with loan terms. This will be very important for small businesses. Health insurance related GOM work also requires more time. The insurance regulators' input is awaited. Act में छोटा सा amendment का जरूरत भी पड़ेगा, मगर वो कॉन्सेप्ट नोट को विस्तार से पढ़ने के बाद, उसको जीएसटी काउंसिल अप्रूव करने के बाद हम जो अमेंडमेंट करना है वो करेंगे. मकसद एक ही है कि इस छोटे कंपनियों का रजिस्ट्रेशन आसानी से होना चाहिए. ईवी व्हीकल्स के ऊपर ये एब्सोल्युटली क्लियरली मेंशन करना चाहिए कि नया व्हीकल्स ईवी खरीदने में 5% है. Am I right? 5%. पुराने ईवी व्हीकल्स खरीदने का विषय ही आया है. अगर यूज्ड ईवी खरीदने के समय एक व्यक्ति दूसरे व्यक्ति को सेल करेगा तो कोई नहीं है उसमें. The same thing as 5%. No GST. Sorry. Used EV, an individual selling to another individual, no GST.
The 55th meeting of GST Council took place in Jaisalmer, Rajasthan. The contentious issue and the most important issue of GST on health insurance and life insurance, well, that was deferred. Well, clearly the states, all states couldn't agree collectively on this, and that's why it is deferred. GOM will need further time to deliberate on this important issue. That's why it is now today deferred. Some other issues were taken up, however, those decisions on them were taken, including ATF, aviation turbine fuel, including that in GST, was on the council agenda, but it was also deferred. So it would have, in a way, benefited airlines in the country because if it comes under GST, definitely the cost will come down. But this has also been deferred. However, there were some items on which decisions were taken, like gene cell therapy. Well, it has been exempted from GST completely. There were decisions regarding registration of companies, small companies, and how to make it easier. That decision was taken, and certain other decisions were taken. However, the bigger issues of these kinds were clearly deferred. Another issue of popcorn on GST now, they'll be now clearly taxed on the taste, what kind of mixture they have. Well, they are clearly now taxed now also, and there is no increase on the popcorns. EVs also the issue there, and the EVs now, the old EVs now will be taxed at the marginal price. So all these issues were taken up during GST Council meeting, and most of them were deferred only.
And while India awaited a tax reduction on insurance, which hasn't happened, what has actually caught the attention is the varied levels of GST on popcorn. And by the way, these vary with ingredients depending on the amount of salt or sugar you add and also the type of packaging. Ready-to-eat popcorn, which is mixed with salt and spices and has the essential character of namkeen, currently attracts a 5% GST if it is not pre-packaged and labelled. If it is supplied as prepackaged and labelled, a 12% GST is levied. However, when popcorn is mixed with sugar, that is, if it becomes caramel popcorn, then it would attract an 18% GST. The Grand Old Party was quick to target the scrumptious tax rates. Jairam Ramesh called the GST rates absolutely unbelievable and sheer madness.
Salted popcorn, caramelized popcorn, plain popcorn. ऐसे स्टेट्स हैं जहां नमकीन के नाम में पॉपकॉर्न सॉल्टेड भी सेल होता है। एडेड शुगर के चीज हर एक में रेट एक है, नमकीन के ऊपर रेट कम है। सो कैरामलाइज्ड पॉपकॉर्न का ट्रीटमेंट के ऊपर सब लोग विस्तार से चर्चा की। एडेड शुगर वाले चीज को तो हम ट्रीटमेंट अलग ही देते हैं, चाहे वो ड्रिंक हो, कार्बोनेटेड ड्रिंक हो, जूस हो, जिसमें एडेड शुगर है। जब तक वो नमकीन है, सॉल्टेड है, मसाला एडेड है, चटपटा मसाला है, चिली पाउडर है, कुछ हो, वो सब 5%, am I right? 5%. But when it has added caramelized sugar, it is no longer नमकीन, इसीलिए उसका रेट अलग है।